everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and we're taking another look at Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Now, to preface this video, I would like to say that I'm trying out a few different things as this channel is still relatively new, and, well, my last video I did write a script and kind of read it almost word for word, but this time I feel like I'm just going to kind of get my thoughts out there and edit around them, so hopefully this all works out well for everybody and hopefully you guys enjoy. So today I kind of want to talk about the villains in this game. Now, I'm not talking your normal infected like the zombies of the Rhodes Hill Center or Chunk or anything like that. No, I kind of want to take a closer look at Zeno and Victor Gideon because both of these characters I think for the game was really well done. And I just kind of want to go over some of the points that I thought were good, some of the points I thought could use improvement, and just get my thoughts out there on it. Because I didn't go as in depth into them as I would have liked for my review video. And I know my review video had a few mistakes in it. I had a couple people point out to me, and I thank you for your feedback. I'm hoping that maybe I can get a couple more videos out and I'll go back and re-edit that one, do a re-upload, try to give it the feel I was going for, but I still think it was a pretty good first video. So, all right, starting with Victor Gideon. Now, some of the things I liked about this guy was from the beginning of the game, man, he was definitely terrifying. At least in my opinion, he was very mysterious. I did very much enjoy his design. I thought he was very well designed, from the strange expressions to the weird way he spoke and just the cryptic nature and everything he said. I thought it was great. His character design as well. I mean, if you go in and look at the model in the model viewer, like any one of these models, I think are done really well. But Victor's definitely unique, especially for being a nemesis. You know, he's got a very unique personality that just kind of, I thought, was really well done throughout the game. You know, in the beginning, at the Renwood Hotel, you kind of run into Victor Gideon near the end of it after Grace gets attacked by the police officer zombie, and Victor Gideon was there listening to music, got a little cryptic with Grace, abducted her, as we all know, started the infection in Elbridge that Leon had to take care of, and that kind of led into the events of the game. Very good start to him. You know, the mystery behind, like, who is this guy? Obviously, he's tied to Umbrella. What's his goal here? You know, and just various moments throughout the game I thought were done very well. Like, for example, doing the puzzle box to get the, I believe it was either the sun or the moon quartz. You go back with the corrosive to unlock it after encountering Chunk for the first time, and Victor Gideon is there, and Grace kind of gets shocked and, of course, fearful. He drops a little more cryptic information. Grace obviously runs out of the room, down to the door, opens it, and then hides behind the cupboards. Great strategy, by the way, Grace. Nice way to escape. 10 out of 10 recommended if you're ever in that kind of situation. But yeah, I thought he was very well done over the course of the game. I particularly liked the blood lab part, as I said before, and the memes I've been seeing all over social media of that scene when he's holding up the vial of Grace's blood and he's like, I've finally done it, and then walks away. I mean, that I thought was very funny, but also very intimidating. Obviously, Victor's a scary man. I thought that the scene with Leon Kennedy during the motorcycle chase, which I didn't even talk about in my review. What a great point to leave out, right? I mean, you can see I've got some work to do. All jokes aside, during Leon's motorcycle chase, he's being pursued by Victor Gideon, who's shooting rocket launchers at him while dogs chase him. I mean, it is very over the top and out there, and then obviously you have the motorcycle joust that kind of happens at the end of that, where Victor's bike explodes, it kind of goes off the ledge, and presumably you think he's dead, but I mean, this is Resident Evil, you know, the bad guys are coming back. We've seen this before with the likes of Jack Baker, Nemesis, Mr. X, various enemies. I mean, you know, bosses die and they come back in different forms throughout the series. It's kind of predictable. I wish it had been a little more unique at the end with his transformation, as he really is just a Nemesis clone from Resident Evil 3. Now, I know there's a little uniqueness to his design already, and the Phase 1 part of the fight with Victor Gideon, after he offs Xeno, that was amazing. I really enjoyed that fight. I thought the whole, electrical charge attack that he does was just really cool, and overall it's a very fun fight. I think it was probably the most fun fight I had in the game, was that first phase of his boss fight. But of course, Leon Kennedy kills him, and being infected with the Nemesis parasite, you see him transform back into this large Nemesis monstrosity, and Leon, of course, takes him out because Leon's the GOAT. But, I mean, overall, the course of the story, I really enjoyed what they did with Victor Gideon. I thought that his ties to Umbrella were done well. I thought him being linked to Grace's mother's death, Alyssa Ashcroft, pretty much sending the hooded man in there back when she was murdered at the Renwood Hotel. I think I said Renfield in my old video, too. Let me know if you caught that one. I've made a couple mistakes so far, but no, I genuinely enjoyed what his story was. I kind of wish we got to see a little more of him, especially in the later half of the game. But he was great. I mean, he calls Xeno an imitation, which I think is very important going forward in the story. I guarantee Wesker's coming back in some form or another besides his tease in Resident Evil 4 Remake. But no, I really enjoyed Victor Gideon. I thought he was really well written. I love that he thought that Spencer was a genius with the whole twist at the end with Elpis. Some things I didn't like about him, like I said, I really wish we could have gotten a little more screen time with him. I know certain Resident Evil enemies, especially the bigger villains, we don't always get the most screen time, with the games being short as they are. But really, that's my biggest complaint with Victor. He was definitely a unique character in the story, at least as far as I've seen, compared to some of the villains we've had before, like Nemesis or Mr. X. I mean, he really was quite unique. Next, Xeno. Another character I wish we had a little bit more of, though I am happy with what we've got. And on one hand, I wish we had a boss fight with him. I do like the direction they're going, because if you guys remember at the end of Resident Evil Requiem, the secret agents from the Connections kind of show up and they recover something, and it doesn't reveal it. Well, a lot of the community, and myself included, thinks that's Xeno's head. I think he's coming back in some way or another in the next Resident Evil. Not the next Resident Evil, as we know that's probably going to be the Code Veronica remake, which I'm super excited for. Unfortunately, I've never gotten to play Code Veronica, but I think that, they kind of came in and took his head, and they're going to do some sort of cloning or memory transfer. I mean, they were talking about some of the research in Resident Evil 9. They were talking about transferring memories and things like that. So I definitely kind of think that's where they're going. I do think we're going to see the return of Wesker, whether or not he's another clone of him, or if they are able to transfer his memory somehow, or if they just reveal that the one that was killed in Resident Evil 5 wasn't actually Wesker. But I don't know. Very curious to see where that goes. Xeno was good. I mean, throughout the course of the game, I thought he was very well done for who he was. I mean, he is a top guy for the Connections, right? And the Connections is this criminal underground organization that's been kind of pulling the strings behind everything since before the Raccoon City incident. You learn through Resident Evil Requiem that the reason that the United States government nuked Raccoon City during the incident in '98 was because the Connections pretty much didn't want anyone else getting their hands on Elpis. And of course, right after that, they zoomed in, secured Ark, and kind of took the role from there. We learned throughout the game as well that Raccoon City has been the center point for the development of bioweapons. This is where the Connections have been making their bioweapons and shipping them out to other places throughout the world. We know that links back to Umbrella and Tricell, and there's various other corporations that have kind of been in the mix behind all of this throughout the series. And I think that, getting to see Xeno, getting a little more information about the Connections was really interesting. I mean, when he's introduced, it's right after the fight with Emily when she mutates. You know, Grace is heartbroken, she's beaten, she's at her last limb on everything, you know, she's tired of it, and she walks away from Leon, runs into Victor, Gideon, and Zeno, and eventually agrees to go with them to Ark in Raccoon City. And so Grace basically goes with Zeno and Victor, Gideon, you know, seeking the answers to all these questions, and they arrive in the RPD. Zeno shows her this footage of a clone like Emily, and kind of falsely tells her that she was manufactured by Spencer, she's one of the experiments, and she's the key to Elpis. He kind of believes that all these cloned girls are clones of Grace, when really they're not. They're clones of Chloe, and Chloe may even be a clone as well. Chloe being the girl from the flashback in 1990. With Grace being born in the early 2000s, you know, that can't be her. She's not the original. But she continues to seek answers, going into Ark with him, you know, not really knowing what's going through her mind, and obviously we know what happens in Ark. Leon shows up, they have their grand escape, and then run through the facility before the final boss fight, and of course, Grace finds out that Xena was wrong, and, you know, there's nothing really special about her, it's just that she was the hope of Oswald E. Spencer. And from there, you know, obviously Xeno's pissed. He doesn't believe it. He injects himself immediately with the virus. You can kind of see the arrogance of his character here. Obviously, this man is egotistical. And then, obviously, the antivirus, Elpis, removes his powers. And, of course, Victor Gideon comes in and slices his head off, putting an end to him. Though, not much to him in this game. I really liked what they did. I love the Wesker element to him. You know, he's a clear knockoff, if not a direct clone of him. I mean, we're not really too sure. There's not very many details around him, but I mean, what we had, it was pretty interesting. I loved his design. I thought it was very cool. I can't lie. I mean, dude was looking slick, let's be real now. Beyond that, I guess the only other main villain that I would like to talk about would be Marie. I mean, Marie's the big pursuer enemy of this game. She follows you around at the beginning of the Rhodes Hill Care Center facility, and obviously she's sensitive to light. Marie was fantastic as a pursuer enemy, and I think honestly it's the best one they've done since Jack Baker. I love Mr. X, I do, but he's very easy to manipulate, and Jack Baker just kind of has a certain vibe to him that I always preferred, but I really think that Marie's my new favorite pursuer enemy out of any in a Resident Evil game. I mean, she really was terrifying. That basement section had me crying. I did not want to go through with that. As much as I play scary games and survival horror games, I really am actually afraid of them. I tend to have a lot of fear going into them, and it's a struggle to finish them if I'm not motivated because of that. And Marie really put that fear in me, but I was in love with this game. I was addicted. I powered through not once, not twice, but 3 times through the basement. I've had 3 full playthroughs now. I haven't, you know, gotten all the achievements or completed all the challenges. I've got a few to go, but I really think I'm gonna go for it. I want to get all the trophies and do the final puzzle. The final puzzle looks really interesting, and I might make a video on that if I do end up doing it. I do know the steps, and I know that the solution was data mined, but I won't go too much into detail about that. I think, honestly, there's just nothing else I can say about these villains except I thought they were done great, but besides Marie, I think we needed a little more of Victor and Zeno. I do think maybe we needed a boss fight with Zeno to kind of offset that boss fight you have with Victor at the end of the good ending. I do feel like the bad ending is a little lacking. It's kind of just an extended cutscene, and then it prompts you to go back and make the right choice. You know, you can clearly tell which one's canon. I haven't gotten that ending myself, but I have seen it all over the internet. So I think that's all I've got for this one. Just a quick little rant about why I like these guys and why I think it was done right. Show a little more love to Resident Evil Requiem before the algorithm no longer pushes it out to anybody. I'm hoping to stick with the Resident Evil franchise the next couple uploads. I would like to do a video on safe rooms. I do have a couple ideas about them that I feel like I could ramble about for a while. I could yap about it. Besides that, I have a few more reviews for the Resident Evil Modern Era that I want to get out, and maybe one big video to combine them all, put them into one sitting, just for the people who kind of like that kind of video. Besides that, I have a lot of other ideas. I have a document of ideas that I'm slowly working on and piecing together. It won't be survival horror for long, for those of you who are just joining. And might, see my channel as, an up-and-coming survival horror channel. That's where I'm focused now, but my focus tends to shift, and I'm hoping that my audience shifts with me as I kind of explore new topics and ideas. So, to anyone who stuck around and is listening, thank you. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this was totally unscripted. I just turned on the mic and kind of looked at my notes and thought out everything that I wanted to say. So, I don't know if this is going to flow any better, and I would like to hear some feedback in the comments whether or not you'd prefer a scripted video that has a little more structure to it, or maybe more of a rambly video where I kind of just sit down and talk about, my personal thoughts and feelings on the game in whatever way I'm feeling in the moment. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time.